you. Hi. Hello. So I used to be a banker, and now I'm an improviser. And I have a confession. I'm rebellious. Because I live in Berlin, but I don't have any tattoos. But if I did have a tattoo, it would be of an improvisation model by a guy named Robert Poynton. And it's a triangle model, right? And on the top it says, let go, and then notice more, and use everything. And I love this. He describes it as the core capabilities of improv. And I love it because it's not only what I teach, but it's what I do. It's what I live. And it's a really elegant way to put it. And what I found is we all improvise our lives, right? We didn't come with the script. And when I started consciously improvising my life, magic happened. So let me tell you about 3 things that happened in the last year. And if you had told me 2 years ago, Belina, this is going to happen to you, I would have said, no way. 3 things. First thing is I got to go to the COP21 in Paris, the big climate change conference. Yeah? And the COP is usually, although it's about saving the world, it's usually about power and PowerPoint. And I got to work with sustainability experts to really collaborate, and that felt fantastic. Second thing, I'm in a German film, a clean one. Which is really weird for me because although I teach people improvisation, I don't feel like a performer. Okay, ignore the mic for a second, but I don't feel like a performer. And it's called Level Up Your Life, and it's going to come out in spring. Third thing, I was in Japan in May of this year on a big stage in front of 8,000 people at the base of Mount Fuji. And it was part of a Symphony for Peace Prayers event. And I got to say to those 8,000 people, what makes your soul smile and laugh? It's time for us all to find out. So I want to tell you about a bit about how I got from being in an office at a bank to now. Are you ready? Okay, cool. So in 1999, in New York, I took my first improv class, and somehow my stressful bank job got easier. And I knew I was in a stressful department because the lady who joined the day after me, and she had a Mensa IQ and great hair and great makeup, I watched her, she was in the cube next to me, and I watched her go from really confident state to a complete nervous breakdown in a year and a half. And I was feeling the classic stress signs of on Sunday I'd get sad because I'd have to go in on Monday. So I transferred to London, to the London office, and I worked for an awesome man. His nickname was Moose. And at one point, I actually broke into his office, changed his screensaver to a moose face, and strapped antlers on his monitor. He was great. And he had the lowest staff turnover of the bank. But even he couldn't save us in the back office when the same people missed Christmas and New Year's 2 years in a row to take on board the euro and then to take on board Y2K compliance. I was getting 200 emails a day, I was in endless conference calls, and departments kept merging with ours because they didn't want to do the compliance, but we weren't getting any more resources. And we had 4 out of 5 managers on stress leave for months at a time by March '99. And I was one of them, and I told Robert, the psychologist, I said, I feel like a forest fairy trapped in a machine. And so I did an MBA to relax. And then I started working with marketing executives on marketing excellence. But the way that I was being invited to teach them was doing death by PowerPoint. And I hated it because I felt like I was killing them and me slowly. I wanted a way to flip it inside out. So what was happening for me is that I was noticing that the way that I was teaching wasn't working. It didn't feel alive. I wanted to let go what I was being told, and I wanted to use what they knew and what I knew to create something better. And that's where improv bubbled up again, 10 years later. And so I read a book, and I did a pilot. And I thought, I'm a genius, no one else is doing this in the UK. And then I met Neil Malarkey from the Comedy Store Players, and he said, you might want to meet Paul Jackson, he has a whole global group doing this. So I made him my business partner, poor man, and I joined that global group on a global scale. And I set up a company, and the title of the company means to boisterously celebrate. But something was still missing. And I wanted a way to pull through, let go, notice more, use everything to my life. So 2 years ago, I let go of having a home. And I traveled all the way around the world, 12 countries in 3.5 months. And what I noticed was that improv is really universal. And although I teach stuff like service design or whatever, it's fractal. So if I teach you how to do let go, notice more, use everything in service of being a better leader, you're also going to be a better father, and you're going to be a better husband, and you're going to be a better bridge player, which is really cool. And how I was using it, so I was teaching the stuff up here, how I was using it was to turn the lights back on in darkness, because I had a few hard things happen during that trip. I had 2 earthquakes, 3.5 months, I'm lucky. 2 earthquakes, one in Turkey and one in Japan. I had civil unrest in Turkey as well. It was a double hitter, Turkey. I had a sandstorm in Tehran. And that's all scary stuff, right? But I let go, and I noticed more, and I used everything. I pulled it really deep, and it helped me to turn the lights back on. So what makes my soul smile and laugh is using improv, and not just using it, but living it. Thank you.